Hey, I'm Kelly Phillips,
And I'm Nicki Medford.
and this is the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society podcast. So, we have a show coming up really soon, and it's something that I think is really quite unique.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Nikki's the one who came up with this, you guys, and it is the combination of a theatrical performance along with a wine tasting. And when Nikki first told me her idea a few months ago, I really didn't get it. But as things developed and she shared her script with me, it's genius. I mean, I'm in it, so I can say that, right? How did you come up with this unique idea?
Well, I don't know about genius, but I definitely like wine and I love theater. So it kind of seemed like a natural pairing to bring the two together as we had started to explore the idea of the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society becoming an acting troupe in the community of Clayton. And knowing that we have some really unique venues and bars and nightlife that is starting to grow in our area, I think those two interests of mine, just enjoying a drink here or there and then going to the theater as often as I possibly can, just kind of seemed like a natural match. And I had envisioned something that would bring the two together in a way that would be unique and enjoyable for audiences and cast members alike.
What I love about this pairing, so I've never attended anything like this. I know you said sometimes like in the bigger cities like Las Vegas or New York, you'll have this kind of thing. Really struck me as unique about this is it's this way where our audience, like I can see them sitting there absorbing the scene of what's happening. This is all about like love scenes, right? The different phases of love that happen. You know, sometimes you break up, sometimes you meet, sometimes you get married. As you're sitting there in the audience and you're taking in the scene, you're drinking a wine that is meant and was specifically curated by our wine expert
Mhm.
to reflect the emotions and the nature of the scene in front of you. So it's sort of like, yes, you're sitting there, you're watching a show, but it's like this is immersive experience where you're feeling the emotions, you're seeing the scene, you're tasting the wine, and it all just kind of comes together for this really unique immersive experience. And I think that is the thing I love the most about this performance. The way it just brings everything together and makes the audience a part of it. And plus, it's small. So
Mhm.
we're doing this at,
Main Street Wine and Beer. Yeah.
tell them about Main Street.
So Main Street is a very beautiful bottle shop downtown Clayton. I think that it's not as well known. They've been open for just over a year in that section of downtown. What struck me when I first walked in was just how cozy it is. It's a big open space, but it's very intimate and cozy at the same time. There is a huge selection of wine. You can get wine to taste on site, you can get beer to taste on site. But I really just love the ambiance and just kind of the whole vibe of the shop when you first walk in, especially in the evening. It's dimly lit. It kind of feels like you've been transported somewhere completely different.
I had never been there before we started rehearsals. So far, after every rehearsal that we've had there at the shop, we end up just sitting there and drinking wine and
Mhm.
talking because they have like this couches area, they have some tables, they have a bar you can sit at.
Yeah,
And we just don't want to leave.
yeah. And good
It's
music
so,
choices too.
yeah, they do have really
Yeah,
good music
yeah.
in there too. So if you haven't been by there, you definitely need to stop and check it out. Not just at our performance, because you have to have a ticket to get in.
Mhm.
They won't be open during the performance. They'll be open before and after, though. Yeah, it's a great place in Clayton. You should definitely stop by. One of those like hidden gems, I would call it.
Yeah. I definitely consider it a hidden gem. It's never crowded when I go in, but maybe we can change that.
Yeah. As far as tickets to the show, if you guys are wanting to purchase, I'm put the link in the description. Again, we've got our one performance on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., February 26th.
Mhm.
And then we've got a performance matinee on a Saturday at 4,
First.
but it's March 1st, Saturday, March
Mhm.
1st. And tickets are $30 for general admission, which includes 5 wine tastings in with your ticket.
Mhm.
And then if you want VIP seats, you get to sit on a comfortable couch. You also get a bottle
Exclusive.
of one of the wines to take home. It's like a mini bottle to take home. You get some chocolates and you get, that upfront couch seating.
Mhm.
So I think VIP is almost sold out
Almost
for
sold
which
out. I
for
think we only have
Wednesday.
2 left Wednesday night and a few left for Saturday.
I'll put the link in the description. You're going to go grab your tickets. I would grab them right away. If there are any tickets left, we will be selling at the door, but
Mhm.
you may want to go ahead and grab them ahead of time just in case. Let's talk, Nikki, a little bit about the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society because it's a very unique name that we came up with.
Yeah.
Let's explain the concept of what we're trying to accomplish with our group.
I think Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society was kind of a blending between a concept I initially had come up with, and then actually you, Kelly, bringing in a different side of community theater and kind of what you had been getting out of other experiences that you had been a part of. And so I think it kind of created this unique endeavor that became the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society. So initially, my thought here in Clayton was, let's start a community theater group. We can put on shows, put on productions, eventually have our own black box theater or theater venue somewhere, which in High Hopes is still kind of part of the long-term plan. I believe that we had an interest group that really formed out of this idea, and we started putting the groundwork in that in order to grow something like this in Clayton, we need to start small. We need to tap into our community. We need collaboration. We need to be able to do things with very little to no resources, which is what we essentially have done with this first performance. And that brought in, I think, your concept of the connection piece for being able to continue relationship building beyond just a production that happens, as is normally common with community theater.
And that's one of the things that's always bothered me is you join a cast and then you create this incredible bond with the other people. You see them a couple times a week for, several weeks or a couple of months in a row. You get really close, you know what's going on in their lives. They're like some of your best friends for those weeks. And then the last performance happens and like boom, your friends are gone. And even if
Mm-hmm.
you're in another show with them later, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Each performance or each play that you're in or show that you're in is like a whole different experience. And there's two things that happened in my head, which is, okay, number one, there's got to be a way to extend this. When we were done, the way that the founding members of the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society met, we were all in a show together in November,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't want this to end. Like, I've made some of the phrases that we said, that several of us said, was, I found
Mm-hmm.
my people,
Yeah.
right? So we don't want to let those people go. The other thing is, it is so dang hard to make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make friends as an adult? That's the part of that I guess I contributed to Nikki's vision was, let's not just make this about having shows. Let's make this
Mm-hmm.
about making friends. Let's make
Yep.
this about creating community that lasts between the shows. And so Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society is actually going to be a membership, kind of in the feel of one of those like early 1900s like salon
Mm-hmm.
societies, right? Where everyone kind of gathers around to
Mm-hmm.
support the arts, where we're not just going to put on performances, but we're going to have events. So we're going to go sing karaoke together.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to maybe create a trip to New York, have nights out. And if you go to our website, unsanctioned rehearsals with an S.org, again, linked down in the comments, you'll go to our calendar and you can see we've got several events set up already. We've got a meet and greet in March. We've got some tables set up at a local vendor event at the Finch Lee House where you can come and
Mm-hmm.
talk to us and find out all about the society. And then, of course, society members will get certain benefits. It's a way of bringing people together. So even if you're a musician, you're a playwright, or you'd like to just try to be a playwright. Maybe you've
Mm-hmm.
never written anything before, right, Nikki? Because this is your first. Yeah, this is her first attempt at writing a script, and it's wonderful. Maybe we'll have playwriting
Yeah.
Saturdays. It's really going to be very member driven. I don't know if you remember this, Nikki, but when we first met, you were talking about how you're not an actor, right? You're not the one who wants to be on stage, but you
Mm-mm.
just love the theater. Putting you on the spot.
I do love theater. I was in drama club very briefly in high school and did church plays and things growing up. But I definitely, I mean, as you can tell, being on camera, being in any sort of capacity outside of my like natural environment stresses me out. So definitely not an actor, but I love everything about the theater. I love exploring old theaters. I've taken several backstage tours of our local theaters here in the Triangle area. DPAC and Carolina Theater and Raleigh Little Theater are all places I have taken like backstage trips to. But yeah, I just have a really big passion for the whole production process of seeing a show come to life and all the amount of work that goes into it and the community that is built by it. But I've never really been part of it in the capacity that we're building now. And I think a big part of it for me was there wasn't something local that I could enjoy as an audience member without leaving Clayton to go to some of the other theaters that I just mentioned, which is usually, totally fine for me. But I think being able to build this in our own backyard was kind of the driving force for me as a theater enthusiast because I want to have somewhere I can go and explore and enjoy the arts. So I think our Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society is definitely designed for people who share that love of theater in whatever capacity it might be, or a love of the performing arts in whatever capacity that might be, but it definitely is not exclusive to cast, crew, production teams. I think it really, again, just my own story. I have no experience with any of that, and here I am. So,
Yeah, it's really anybody who just wants to be around theater and wants to make some friends who also love theater. This is your place. This is
yeah,
your people. So we're going to be opening up membership soon. We say spring 2025 because I don't have an exact date. It will be after these performances, and you'll know exactly what membership is, what it gets you. Probably by mid-March is our goal to have
yeah.
all of those details worked out and put up on our website. So you can always check back at unsanctionedrehearsals.org to see, what's going on, what's on the calendar, and what we have going as a membership. We're pretty excited about this. Again, if you want tickets, you might want to grab them in advance. Unsanctionedrehearsalsociety.org.
Main Street is a smaller venue, so there are a limited amount of seats available, and that is by design. So we definitely encourage advanced ticket sales. While we will hopefully be selling stuff at the door that hasn't sold, just kind of keeping in mind that a big part of what we're doing right now with Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society is building these kind of more small, intimate, immersive experiences. And so that just by nature creates a limited availability for the tickets that we currently have.
Well, it has been fabulous talking with you, Nicki, and all of you who are watching as well. And we will be back for some more podcast episodes. But in the meantime, you can come see us.
Yeah, so on March 10th, it's a Monday evening. We'll be hanging out from 6:30 to 8:30 at Revival, the whiskey speakeasy bar downtown Clayton, and we'll just be there hanging out to answer any questions you may have or your involvement. If you want to get involved, you can come and just hang out, find out more information about us. Have a drink.
Yeah, have a drink. Patronize a local business.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This podcast was written, performed, and produced by the Unsanctioned Rehearsal Society. Guest opinions are their own. All rights reserved.